Good morning, everyone in Australia, Asia, Mongolia, India, Taiwan, so on. And good afternoon in North America, South America, and good evening in Europe and elsewhere. Today, the subject of the teaching is Mahamudra and also preliminary practice, foundation practice for Mahamudra, one of the foundation practice, which is Guru Yoga principle. So first, I would like to chant the mantra of Guru Lama Tsongkhapa, Lama Je Tsongkhapa. Me me te chen chen re te me chen be wang bon jam be do bon ma le jom je san we kan jen ke be tu je song kamba lo zanda be sha la so me me ze te chen me ze te me chen be wam bo jam be de mon ma le jom de sang we ban jin ke be tu jin sang ka lo zan de be sham la so an me ze be te chen chen de chen be wang bo jam be de bon ma le jom je sang we da jin be zu jin zong ka lo zan da be wan de me me ze te me be wang bo jam be de bon ma le jom de sang we da kan jin ke be tu jin song ka ma lo zan da be sham la so Mahamudra practice has preliminary practice in order to practice Mahamudra according Kagyu tradition and according Gelug tradition, according former way. It is important to accomplish preliminary practice, or in other words, foundation practice. Tibetan term is mundo. Tibetan word mundo means preliminary practice. So the very first foundation practice is refuge and bodhicitta, which I explained briefly first time. Then the second foundation practice is mandala offering, which I also explained a little bit in the past. And the third preliminary practice is Vajrasattva, sadhana, mantra recitations, and visualization, and so forth. And the fourth preliminary practice is Guru Yoga. So it is Sanskrit word, ancient Indian word, guru and yoga. So as you know, there are many kinds of yogas. Simple yogas like Hatha yoga, and then there's a bhakti yoga, devotional yoga, Raja yoga, and DT yoga, Guru yoga, so on and so forth. Many kinds of yogas. Also, karma yoga, for example, daily kind of chores. You have to do things, something to do with spiritual practice, and a part of the spiritual practice, which is we called karma yoga. So you're creating karma, good karma, creating merit, virtues. This is what we call karma yoga. Not all kinds of activities, but usually karma yoga. Yoga, the word, has a spiritual connection, because Tibetan word yoga is null jor, null jor, null, Tibetan word, nalma. Null means essence, spiritual essence. Jor is to grab the essence and take the essence in you. It's like when you grab orange and then you cut it and then you squeeze and drink the juice. That's the essence of the orange, right? So it's like that. You grab the orange. So Naljor is you grab the essence of the spiritual practice, not just sort of shallow spiritual practice, simple kind of rituals or music and dance, some kind of simple therapeutic thing, but to take the true meaning, the essence, right? The true cause of realization and cause of what we call enlightenment or Buddhahood. So that's the jor, like to trying to accomplish, Nal jor. So guru yoga. Yoga is Nal jor. Okay. So the yoga, traditionally yoga as yogas are to do with spiritual development, and not just for relaxation or sort of therapeutic thing, not like worldly kind of thing. Okay. So now here's the Guru Yoga. So first of all, I would like to say some words about Guru. The word Guru is a Sanskrit word, and Tibetan word is Lama. Now everybody knows now the word Guru is almost English language. Almost you can find it in the dictionary. You can I'm not sure if dictionary, but you see in the Google search or you type Guru is sort of like a word karma, or like a nirvana, and so on and so forth. So the word guru is well known, but also in the West there is negative connotation, negative kind of impression. The word when you hear the guru, and sometimes the guru is like some kind of boss, someone who trying to control your mind, control your life, and someone doesn't give you choice or freedom. It's almost a kind of a cult leader, and people have that. Some people, and media, and give sort of those kind of expression or interpretation, which is kind of difficult thing. I should say, kind of unfortunate thing, because it shouldn't be that way. I think one of the reasons why people give those kind of label negative connotations, because the title of the guru is also exploited by certain people in the past in the West and last 40 years, 50 years. Sometimes it's exploited and misused. So there's a misunderstanding, right? Like we say, there's always bad apples. And so the Tibetan word, as I said, guru is a lama. So now what is the real meaning of guru or lama, literally, right? Tibetan word lama means someone who is spiritually more advanced to yourself or myself, right? So when we talk about lama, here I'm talking about lama as a spiritual guide or master or teacher. It doesn't mean just the term lama, because you see, you might know uh, these days the word lama is sometimes kind of, well, again, very broad, becoming more broader and broader term, you know. And even in you go to South America, you have yamas, and people say lamas, and they're not lamas, they're yamas, and yamas, lama with 4 legs, and I'm lama with 2 legs, and so 2-legged llamas and 4-legged llamas, but they're not llamas. Spanish word is yamas. So llamas and alpacas and vicunas and different animals. And so, but what I'm saying is, like, for example, in Nepal, in the Himalayan country, Nepal, those people come from originally from Tibet, immigrated from Tibet to Nepal. Those people are called Tamangs, Tamangba. Tamang means people with many, many horses. So a lot of Tibetan came to Nepal. One time, Tibetan army invaded Nepal. So a lot of the Tibetan army, they stayed in Nepal, just like Genghis Khan's army invaded Europe. Many Genghis Khan's army people stayed in Iran, Afghanistan, and Poland, and Russia. So there are lots of Mongols everywhere. And just like that, many Tibetans in Nepal. So we have Tibeto-Nepalese and Indo-Nepalese, and northern part of Nepal, most people are Tibeto-Nepalese. Southern part of the people in Nepal are Indo-Nepalese. And in the middle of the Kathmandu, they have Newaris, different kind of Nepalese. So Nepal is also has many groups, ethnic groups. So those Tamang people, their last names are lamas, surnames are lamas now. So in Nepal, they have thousands, perhaps there's a million lamas. And even a little girl is called like something like Shanti Devi Tara or something like that. And Taras, I mean, a lot of lamas. So it becomes just name, right? It's like, so here when we talk about Lama as a spiritual teacher, guru, then you have to be advanced spiritually. When you say, I go refuge to guru, I go refuge to a lama, which means I go refuge to lama who is spiritually more advanced, who have done studying Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha for many, many years, like 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, and who have done lots of teachings, who have done lots of practice, who has lots of experience, right? And who has realizations. So then this person could be qualified to call him or her as a lama. Okay, so and who now the question is who gives these titles of guru or lama, right? We have different traditions in Tibet. We have 4 sects or 4 schools of Tibetan Buddhism. Nyingma is the oldest one, then Sakya and the Kagyu and Gelug. And then within the Kagyu, they have also different sects, 4 main branches and 4 small branches. So it's a various ways of labeling the Lama or giving the name of Lama. It is not always fixed. So sometimes you can get the title Lama or Guru. It was given by the previous Guru, your own Guru, and or the abbot of the monastery or the assembly of the monks, and you get the title of Lama. And but a lot of times the title of Lama is also not really given by anyone. It is sort of more chosen by the people, sort of, and it's sort of like, today's term, like in kind of democratic way. And lots of people in the village or lots of people in the province or certain area of Tibet, and the people start calling this person as Lama because he's my guru, he's my Lama. Then so is me. Then he's got huge disciples and you could say followers, and they choose him or her to be their guru, a Lama. So it's sort of more like elected in a way, right? So and then he or she become a Lama. And even though he doesn't have or she doesn't really have wish or desire to be a Lama or teacher, and he doesn't have that sort of ego or I want to be a Lama, I am a Lama, I'm this, I'm that. It just sort of, it happened that way, organically, kind of like happens like that. And so this is how the lamas are kind of chosen. And then there's also you have a title Rinpoche, you have title Tulku, and the Rinpoche means precious one, and Tulku means reincarnated person. And so the Rinpoches are automatically lamas, Tulkus are automatically lamas, and then sometimes also great teachers, scholars like geishis, and so on. So they are also lamas. So there's many different ways of putting the label of lama or choosing the lama, or you choose your own lama, right? This is how it works. So so in Tibetan tradition, Buddhist tradition, it is important to have a teacher. Well, not just Buddhist tradition, all spiritual tradition, I would say, everybody need their spiritual guide, right? Guide. Doesn't matter what tradition you are. For example, in Tibet, we also have a non-Buddhist tradition, religion, and pre-Buddhist religion or tradition is called Bon, B-O-N, Bon tradition. Bon tradition also have their own lamas because Bon people are Tibetans. Like all Tibetan, their ancestors going back for thousands of years. Most of them are Bon people. And like my ancestors, they're Bon Tibetans and Mongols and so on and so forth. So Bon people, they have their own lamas because we have the same language, right? They have their spiritual teachers. They're called lamas, Bon masters, and Bon gurus. No difference. And so we have also famous text called 50 Verses of Guru Devotion, composed by Ashwagosha. He was a great Indian master, Lopon Pawo in Tibetan. Pawo, or sometimes his name is known as Paku or Mahu, and different words. And Lopon Pawo. Pawo usually means brave one. He was a scholar, great Buddhist scholar, and a graduate from Nalanda Monastery in India. And so he wrote this beautiful text called 50 Verses of Guru Yoga, Guru Devotion. It is translated in English, also I believe translated other languages, European languages and Chinese and so forth. And so then through a tradition, we have teachings on Guru Yoga according to Sakya, Kagyu, Gelug, Nyingma, and so on. So in the Gelug tradition, our tradition, the Guru Yoga the method of Guru Yoga is explained with lots of details in the text of Lamrim, a gradual path to enlightenment. So one of the condensed Lamrim composed by Lama Tsongkhapa in Tibetan word is called Yonten Jijurma. in English, foundation of all, sources of all realizations, something like that, basis of all spiritual realizations. So in this text, the beginning, the very first word is Yonten Kunji Jijur Tinjinje. Yonten Kunji Jijur Tinjinje, which means kind guru and kind teacher is foundation, root of your knowledge, your wisdom, your realizations. Yonten Kunji Jijur Tinjinje. So therefore, one should search guru, find a guru. And so some people, think in the West, some what we call independent thinkers, and they think you don't really need a guru. You are an intelligent person. You went to school, university. You read hundreds of books, thousands of books, and search a lot. You know Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. You know how to meditate. You don't need a guru. Why do I need guru? Some people feel that way. And well, if you truly feel that way, if you feel truly capable and you have the knowledge and wisdom how to meditate, how to practice Dharma, if you can liberate yourself and properly, that's okay, that's fine. This is how you feel, right? And but not everybody is like that, And so you see, you can read many books, hundreds of books. You can go to university. Some people have 2-3 university degrees, right? And but those are all intellectual knowledge, intellectual exercise, right? And you can study geography. I studied geography myself, by myself. I used to remember, learn every capital city of all countries in the world. Now I don't know because so many countries split up. There are many new countries after the Soviet Union collapsed. There's 10 or 11 different countries, and there's always different countries, and then names keep changing. And so anyway, I don't bother anymore, and it's not important for me. When I was younger, I was always interested in geography, history, and I traveled a lot all over the world, and so I read lots of books on Lonely Planet, guidebooks, and geography, National Geography, and so on and so forth. And I still read. But reading one thing, knowing one thing from the books, from the internet, is different than when you actually go to that place by yourself. You pack yourself, take your passport, get the visa, and backpacks. You get all the medicines and so forth. You travel, but then you have to learn the language, but that's not enough. Then when you arrive there, is different climate change and many things happening in this world. Things are changing fast, and also when you're traveling, there are lots of things one has to be aware, and safety, how to travel safely, and so on and so forth. So you need guide and travel guide, or join some kind of group, and at least travel with someone who has been there. Then it's easier for you, safer for you. You feel comfortable. You won't ruin your holiday. If you go somewhere, don't know what's happening, what to do, and then suddenly something happened, accident or this and that, you're ripped out by somebody, and disaster, and then you're going to the wrong place, the wrong time, and then your whole holiday is upside down, and come back with kind of like bad memories, whatever, It could be very challenging. Sometimes you also learn a lot by traveling by yourself. When you lost, we have saying in English, when you lost, you see the most. And so That's okay if you are into that kind of stuff. You want lots of challenge, and it's okay. But most people not like that, especially as we get older. We want comfort and peaceful and safe journey and happy journey, a good journey, right? So my point here is, if you have a guide, travel guide, or someone who travel those areas, then it's better. So this is just simple example. When you travel when you're traveling, when you practice Dharma, walking on the path of Dharma, and walking on the path of enlightenment, and it is very important to have spiritual guide, spiritual teacher, what we call lama or guru. Okay, and so this is how it was, and traditionally, even the Buddha Shakyamuni himself, when he was a prince, and prince known as Prince Siddhartha, he left his home, uh, kingdom of Shakya, and his home, Kapilavastu. He left his home and renounced, become a sannyasin, become a monk, and but he had a teacher, and Master Alara uh, Kalama and Adaka Ramaputra. He met, he said, those are Brahman teachers, Master Alara Kalama, one. The other one is called Adaka Ramaputa. So, so when he met these two teachers, and they said to him, "You are a very intelligent person. You are unusual. You are gifted. You got incredible knowledge. Of course, you are a prince, but not only that, you have already so much knowledge. But you have to practice. You have to do lots of intense practice. You have to do ascetic practice. You have to do ascetic practice." So he got that uh, knowledge, insight from these two Brahmin priests. And so then Prince Siddhartha realized, okay, I have to do asceticism. In other words, I have to practice. And so then he went, keep going, went and sat under the Bodhi tree. Bodhi tree is one type of tree, and in India, in Thailand, Burma, and it's actually fig tree. Okay, and most people, the Bodhi tree. The leaves looks like a heart. It's a beautiful tree, and the botanic word is ficus religios. Ficus religios. Ficus is a fig tree. Okay. So he sat under the Bodhi tree. He did a fasting, and he ate very, very little food and drink water. He sat there, meditated for 6 years. That's a long time, 6 years, a long time. And for some people, some those yoginis, dedicate their entire life for spiritual path. Maybe 6 years, not very long, but for common people, 6 years, very long. I mean, even 3 years, a long time. Even 1 year is a long time, right? Imagine just go away and sit under the tree by yourself without any kind of concern without worry, fear, and he just sit there and meditate. So he did, and he did the practice. So what I'm saying here is the Buddha, Shakyamuni, before he became Shakyamuni Buddha, Prince Siddhartha, he had a guru as well. Likewise, throughout the Buddhist history, great masters like Nagarjuna, Asanga, and Telopa, and Shantideva, and Verupa, and Kamalashila, and so on and so forth. They all had their teachers. For example, Telopa was a guru of Naropa, Naropa, guru disciple, right? So when you read the life story of Naropa, and then it shows about his devotion to his guru Naropa, and so on and so forth. And Naropa had also many teachers, gurus. Atisha was an Indian master. He was born in Bengal, and actually now is in Bangladesh. And those days it's just Bengal. There was only one Bengal, and Atisha was born there. He was a prince. Then he went to a great monastery called Vikamalashila, and so he studied with something like 150 gurus or teachers and different teachers. Like that, Marpa himself, Tibetan person who went from Tibet, across the mountains, Himalayas, to India, he studied Sanskrit. He had 50 different teachers, gurus. Okay, and because we're Tibetans, Tibetan teachers like translator. Marpa was a very famous translator. We call him Marpa Lotsawa. Lotsawa is translator. So he went around in India because he wants to bring Buddha, Dharma, Sangha to Tibet, introduce Buddhism, trying to bring teachings of Buddha and Buddhist masters as much as possible, as many as possible, to bring it to Tibet. And not only that, also he wants to bring the lineage of the initiations. And he went to receive initiation from different teachers, and then brought those lineages of initiation to Tibet, teachings to Tibet. So this is why Marpa had so many gurus. Likewise, Atisha himself ended up in Tibet. He was invited by Tibetan king Lama Yeshiva and Changchuwa from the western Tibet and the Gugi kingdom near Ladakh. And so Atisha came to Tibet, and he gave so many teachings. And one of the most precious teaching that he gave is Lamdun, Changchup Lamdun, which is called in Sanskrit Bodhipata Patipam, Bodhipata Patipam, Padipam, Changchup Lamdun, the lamp for the path of enlightenment. Small text. It's a Lamrim. So Atisha was founder of the Lamrim teachings. Nowadays we have Lamrim in the Gelug tradition. We have 8 different kinds of Lamrim texts. Lamrim teachings are very popular in Tibet, in the Gelug tradition. In the Sakya tradition, they have a text called Lamdun. It's the equivalent of Lamrim. Also, in the Kagyu tradition, there's a jewel ornament of liberation composed by Gampopa. Gampopa was also Kadamba Geshe before he became Milarepa's disciple, before he became Kagyupa master. And so there's a Nyingma tradition. There's also a Lamrim text, which is called The Words of My Perfect Teacher or Master, composed by Patul Rinpoche. I think that's a Lamrim too. I know, I have that copy. So each tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, we have basically have a Lamrims. So all these texts explains about Guru Yoga, importance of Guru Yoga. So basically, we need a spiritual master, spiritual guide. The guru is a spiritual guide. He or she will then give you advice, practical advice, how to learn the techniques, how to practice step by step, stage by stage. And also, not only that, as you practice, then there are many questions come up in your mind, as you know, and most people here who has been studying Dharma, and most of you have been studying Buddha Dharma for the last 3 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever. Doesn't matter you're a new one or older student, there's always questions. Never end questions. Of course, if you're new, you have so many questions. Why? Why this, why that? So many questions, right? And in Egypt, they have a word called lele. Lele means why? And there's a famous Nubian musician called Hamza Ilden. He plays oud musical instrument. It's called oud. The song is le. Why? Big question. Why? Why are we here? What are we doing here? And big question, but simple question, short question. And even little kids ask that kind of question. Why are we here? Some kids are very smart, right? Daddy, why are we here? What are we doing here? And why did we came here? We came here, things like that. So beginners have always have lots of questions, which is a good sign. Because if you have questions, it means you're smart, you're intelligent, right? And the middle course, you have questions. As you practice after 2, 3 years, whatever, you have questions. Then as you get advanced, you have questions. Sometimes you have more questions. More you learn Dharma, you have more questions. Never end questions. Until you reach perfect enlightenment, Buddhahood. Never ending questions, which is a good thing, you know. And but the questions has to be asked in the right time, right place. And you can't just ask questions all the time to yourself. And you won't practice then. You're just asking questions. Even while you're meditating and all these questions come up, then it becomes kind of obsession. And then it could become kind of hindrance. And this is what I noticed myself when I first came to the West. Me and my spiritual friends, Venerable Geshe Thupten Lodin, we came to Australia in 1976. These young people, Westerners, there are so many questions. So I said, yeah, you people are good. You have lots of questions. But why don't you just practice? You ask so many questions. You can sit here, I can sit here. You ask hundreds of questions. We are trying to give you 200 answers. Still never finish. You ask more questions. So we can go on 3 years go by, 4 years go by, 10 years go by, still ask questions. Still, until we are at the end of our life, still asking questions. Master, teach me. Will you teach me? Will you teach me that? This. It's like the story of J. Krishnamurti. You probably heard about J. Krishnamurti. He was a famous Indian philosopher. He was raised up by Theosophical Society in England. And Madame Blavatsky, I can't pronounce properly. Blavatsky. I keep saying Blavatsky. And I'm sorry. Madame Blavatsky and Alice Bailey and Led Butler, those people started Theosophical Society in England, right? So they went to India and they picked up this beautiful Indian, good-looking Indian boy, saying, "You are the I love the book. You are the future master. You're going to save the world. You are Maitreya, and you are Krishna. You are Jesus. Whatever, I don't know exactly. You are this. You are that." And he keeps saying, no, I'm not anybody. Leave me alone. And I'm just Indian boy. And don't call me this. Don't call me that. It's kind of like the life of Brian. This guy is chasing, say, you are Messiah, you are Messiah. Leave me alone. I'm not a Messiah. So kind of like that. Anyway, so Krishnamurti was a very famous philosopher. I read some of his books. So he lived in Ojai, California, or Ojai, California. I think it's Ojai, California. So he was very old. He was dying. Then one of his students, actually, they don't call student because he doesn't want to call himself master, and he's not allowed to tell his followers as students. Anyway, one guy, he was there at the hospital. He went up there saying, Krishna Ji, Indian word, Krishna Ji means venerable, right? Krishna Ji, you're dying. He said, Krishna Murti said, yes, I'm expired. I'm expired. And wow. And then he said, Krishna Ji, can you give me the last teaching? And Krishna Ji said, what? I taught you 40 years. Now here I'm dying. You want more teachings? So all those years you received teachings from me. If that's not good enough, then you just wasted your time. You wasted your time, you wasted my time. No teaching. Then he expired. And he's gone, right? And then the guy was sad. He felt sad. As he walking out the hospital, he said to himself, actually, that was a really good question I asked. I'm very proud of myself. And he gave incredible teaching of no teaching of no teaching. Another thing, he said, I'm expired. Wow, that was amazing teaching. Expired. So we do expire. So like you expire your passport, right? Expire your driver's license. And end of life. This life is expired. So he was walking, he said, that was very profound teaching. He said, everything he said was very profound teaching. I'm so glad I went there and asked those kind of requests. So like that, you can ask so many questions to teacher, and you have so many questions come up, right? So generally speaking, as I said, questions are good, and that doesn't matter. And but there is a time and place, and it's important to know when to ask questions, when not to ask questions, even to yourself. It's important. Just do the practice. Just do it, instead of sitting there questioning. The Buddha said, this is very interesting. If you are walking somewhere and you're shot, somebody shot you on your leg, the bow, and arrow, okay? So then instead of pull out the arrow right away, and you sit there, who shot me? I want to know who shot me. I want to know where this arrow come from. Sit there asking questions, looking around, trying to move. I'm so angry, I'm so upset, I want to know who shot me. So that's no good, because if you keep doing that, you could infect this. Instead of ask question, who shot me, you should just pull out the arrow right away. Gently, carefully pull out the arrow, do something. And that's the best thing to do. Don't ask these too many kind of dumb questions or stupid questions, right? So there is a time and place where you ask questions, when to ask questions, and ask questions, appropriate questions, and relevant questions, and a right time. Okay, so now I'd like to talk a little bit about Guru right now. I will talk more next week, and so then I mentioned about importance of teacher, right? So the question is now, how do we find teachers? Because there are so many teachers in the West, in the East. Nowadays, many Westerners who become teachers, also not just Tibetans, and there are Dharma teachers everywhere. Also, you find nowadays through the social media, the internet, you find teachers on YouTube. Right now, you're watching me. I'm on YouTube, right? So a lot of people found me, and you go to YouTube or Buddha Weekly, you find me. A lot of people found me, right? So now I teach on Zoom and YouTube. So you find many teachers. You type Tibetan masters, gurus, teachers. There's so many of them. You find them, and then you can see so many wonderful teachers. you hear wonderful teachings. So then, how do you choose one as your guru, or follow one, or not, or whatever, right? So, and of course, you can. It's up to us. You can go listen to all the different teachers, right? And you can do spiritual shopping, and you can learn a lot because today's social media and internet age, we can learn so much. And through social media, internet, and so on, we can learn lots of things. But it's not the same as you learning from teacher face to face, one to one. So right now, unfortunately, because of pandemic and the COVID time, it is hard to people to go and see teacher one to one and have the opportunity. We are going through this difficult kind of period, or some ways maybe not so difficult. Some ways a good opportunity. Now you are connected through the Zoom and YouTube and so forth. What I call is obstacles. Not always obstacles. Obstacles can turn into blessings. I use the word obstacle blessings, right? Because the COVID came, and now we got blessing, and you got the social media and all this and that. And Tibet, there's a Tibetan word. Obstacle blessing is it. I translate from Tibetan into English. Not I didn't made up this word, and we say "jinging." It's a long word. Jengi means unfortunate condition or unfavorable condition. Toju means become friends. So adverse conditions become friends. So in a way, like kind of like a friend, right? What is friend? It means friend is somebody kind of help you, provide things for you, somebody's kind to you. This person we call friend, right? My friend. And not just word saying my friend. And so you can learn from social media, but it's not the same as learning from one-to-one and having a kind of a real relationship, teacher-student relationship. In Tibetan word, we call Shinyin Tensul, Lama Nanju, Shinyin Tensul. That Shinyin Tensul. Shinyin is another word, means teacher. Shinyin, Gewe Shinyin. Okay, Gewa means virtues. Shinyin is spiritual friend. Gewe Shinyin, or virtuous friend. Tensul is like how you interact with this person. Okay. And then you meditate with the person and follow his or her advice, sit together, walk together, and go for journeys like pilgrimage or do retreats, and or do some basics kind of thing, karma yoga, casual things, like carrying water. I chop the wood like Zen style. You carry water together, and chop wood together, and through that kind of activities, you can learn from the guru too. Because guru, the wise and intelligent guru, he or her life is all spiritual. Everything what he or she does is spiritual. So if you practice whatever she's doing together, you always learn something different. And for example, if you're cooking with the guru, you find something different, the way you cook. And I used to cook with my guru, one of my teacher, Geshe Tubden Wangyo, and we lived together in Dalhousie in India. We live in a simple life. I lived with him for more than 9 years. So we have very simple life, very simple food. We ate rice and dal and some vegetables, some rotis, and that's it. We don't have much. Some black tea. And I watch how he cooks, how he saves his time, energy, and everything is sort of minimized. Use very little energy, very little impact for the environment, And I tell you one example. Wintertime, we live. Dalhousie is very cold. It's about, I don't know exactly the height is, but very cold. We got lots of snow. It goes to minus 20, 25, and so on. So we don't have hot water, no hot water heater. We have no hot shower, and it takes a long time to heat up water. So, and I watch in the first thing morning when he wash his face. So he get the glass of water, keep the water inside his mouth. Then he put it into his hand and then washes his face. First I thought, wow, what's that? Why does he wash his face by his spit? Almost like a spit, right? Then I said, well, nothing wrong. He put the water in his mouth, then wash his face. And it's not unhygiene, it's not a dirty, and it's come from his mouth, right? So what he's doing is he keep the water warm in his mouth, then wash his face instead of warming up on the stove. We don't have water. And then he wash same way again, another mouthful of water and wash his hand. That's it. And then he's got a little towel and clean his face. So see, according Qigong, Taoist Qigong tradition, right? I practice Qigong a little bit, time to time. According to Taoist tradition, you accumulate saliva inside your mouth, like this, for like 1 minute. You accumulate saliva in your mouth, and then you swallow like 3 or 4 times. So what happens? Why are they doing this? Because inside your mouth, and you have what I don't know the Western term is, like you create enzymes, okay, and then you swallows, and then what happens? It helps you to digest your food, digesting. I asked my Qigong master or acupuncture master, Anthony Brown, why you do this? He said, you swallow it, and then enzymes break down your food and digest fast. And he said, look, animals doing this, same thing. And like wolves and bears, tigers, and when they are hurt, when they have cuts, they keep leaking. So their saliva heals the wound. First they clean it, and they clean the blood, and then they put their saliva on it. And when I was young, little kid, my grandmother told me, when you get stung right by nettles, she said you should put your spit on it, on your hand, spit. That helps. The other thing is, my grandma said you should put yogurt because it cool down. You have the stung by nettles or even a bee, and as your skin gets infected, get hot, warm, right? You put the yogurt, it cools down. Natural remedy. And your own saliva is also medicine because it comes from you. So it heals your body, Because anyway, so what I'm saying here is that there are so many things that we can learn from our spiritual guide, spiritual gurus, and there's something that there are a lot of things we don't know. We can't learn from the text and from books. They are what we call oral tradition, oral transmissions. Oral tradition, oral transmissions are very important. So many secret teachings in Hindu tradition and the Buddhist tradition, we call oral tradition, oral transmission. And we call air whispered lineage. Master whispering into your ear, then you learn, because these teachings are secret. That's why you're whispering. you don't want to share with everybody. And I mean, in Tibet, we call Yinju. Yinju. Yin is the air. Ju is Yin is means actually kind of honorific word. Yinju is air whisper lineage. Gandhin air whisper lineage. Manjushri taught to Lama Tsongkhapa, and Lama Umapa Pawadorji. Lama Umapa taught to Manjushri. I mean, to Tsongkhapa. Manjushri taught the air whisper lineage to Lama Umapa. Lama Umapa taught to Tsongkhapa. Then we have the air whisper lineage. Things like that. So this is what, anyway, there's so many other advantages, important things that you can learn from the guru one-to-one, and that's very important. And this is why it's important to have a guru. Okay, and now the question is, how many gurus one should have? How do you choose the guru? This is another question, big question. And if you are a fortunate person, if you have a good karma, you always find the right teacher, right place, right time. You don't need to go around searching the guru all the time. You'll find right away. Someone like myself, I have been very fortunate, and I never really searched, actually, and I didn't have to search. Somehow my karma, good karma, made me to find the right teachers. I was growing up, little boy Lama, and actually my grandfather arranged all these teachers for me. So it was very convenient. I didn't even know that he was arranging. He has to arrange because he's my grandfather, right? My grandfather himself is Lama Rinpoche. And then when he was around his 20s, he had left the monastery. He had to look after our client, and he ended up becoming chief. And then later on, he raised me and Zasep Tulku Lama, and then I was introduced to His Holiness Jabji Trijang Rinpoche, who is junior tutor of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and I was very fortunate and met Jabji Trijang Rinpoche. And then Jabji Trijang Rinpoche introduced me to Geshe Thupten Wangyo, and so on and so forth. My gurus keep introducing me to another guru, and so on and so on. So here I am, and I've been very fortunate. So if you have the right kind of karma, you will find the right teacher. And some people takes time to find a teacher. I'm not saying you don't have the right karma. That's just the way it is. Different journey for different ways. Sometimes you have to search teacher. And sometimes you don't have to search teacher. It all depends on you, right? Searching teacher is not the easy one, but it's also itself is a process of learning. And you could make mistakes, and you can find a teacher and study 1 year, maybe 6 months. Then you realize, oh, I think he's a wonderful teacher, but not for me, because it doesn't work. And personalities and time and place, this and that. And so you can leave if you want to. You just say, thank you very much for what I've learned, and you're very kind to me, but I'm going to move on now. And I have to go somewhere else. I have to meet somebody else, search, find the right teacher for me, because it's my needs, my issues, my question, not because you is. And so you have to search yourself, find. And if you haven't got teacher, spiritual teacher, you should find one. In order to find one, you could pray to Shakyamuni Buddha, pray to Tara, and pray to Dakinis and Dharma protectors, and ask them to find the right teacher. And according to history, there are many stories like this. The Dakinis always show you their dreams. For example, Mahasiddha Surya Gupta and different Mahasiddhas, and they are searching certain teachers, and the Dakini showed up, like say Vajra Yogini or Tara, or one of the Dakinis, shows up. She says, okay, you go to the east from here, about 10 miles away, 100 miles away, and there's a village, there's a man there sitting there, or woman sitting there, and an odd-looking woman or odd-looking man sitting there, and he is your teacher. And then you go there, you find this odd person, and You said, I want you to be my guru. What? What are you talking about? I'm not a guru. No, you are the guru. Please teach me. and then you sit there and wait, and then at some point he didn't say yes or no. And then you sort of hang around there, and then maybe you realize, oh, I think he accepted me now, but he didn't say go away. And so there are many stories like that. Those are the Indian kind of stories, but not just Indian story, Tibetan story. So another thing is, in order to find the right teacher, you have to study first the qualification of the teacher, quality of the teacher. I will talk about this next week. Not much time right now because I have to teach a little bit of Mahamudra here. We're going to do a little bit of meditation on Mahamudra. So the quality, there are 10 qualities of teacher. There's 10 qualities of student, and this and that. According Maitreya Buddha teaching, Mahayana Sutra Alankara talks about qualities of teacher, right? So you study when you find teacher who has these kinds of qualities, then you say, okay, I think he or she is qualified and or is the right kind of person, even though I don't know much about the qualities, but I think he or she, I feel from my heart, I feel this person is right teacher. Then you have to make a request. And you can't just wait and just keep checking, searching, checking. Then time go by, month go by, year go by, and time run out. And so we have a story in Tibet. One Tibetan person met this Lama, and he was a wonderful Lama teacher. And he said, okay, I think he's a good teacher. He is very knowledgeable. He has good students. He's a good teacher. I think he's a good teacher because his students are good. That means he's a good teacher, right? And but I'm not sure. He's always nervous and shy and hesitant. So a year went by, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, went by, and 12 years went by. So one day he went up to the Lama and said, now I've been looking at you, checking on you, and I saw you. I have never made my mind. And for 12 years gone by, now I'd like to request you to be my guru. And he said, will you please accept me as your disciple? So the Lama said, okay, well, we have to be fair. You have been checking on me, waited for 12 years. Now is my turn. I will wait. I will check on you for the next 12 years, whether you could be my student or not. Then the poor guy almost had a heart attack. So I have to wait for 12 years. That means 24 years going by. When do I practice? So actually, unfortunately, they never become teacher students. Formally. But then, in other hand, maybe this person was his teacher. He becomes student informally. Right? You never know. You see. So this is the story. Interesting story. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there for about the Guru Yoga. Now I will go to Mahamudra teachings because we don't have a lot of time. Mahamudra teachings. So last time I talked about Mahamudra meditation. When you meditate, you look at your mind. So here I read my book here. Then looking at the mind, and without judging, without discriminating, without pulling or without pushing, just look at it. Just meditate on it as if you are eating carrot. Pull out the carrot, eat it. Don't ask questions. What kind of carrot is this? Orange, yellow? We should ask all these questions. And we could ask all these questions, but it is better just eat the carrot. Carrot is carrot. Doesn't matter yellow carrot or orange carrot, carrot, organic or unorganic. Just when you have the carrot, just eat it first. See, otherwise, how do you know? And so when you do Mahamudra meditation, you formally, as I mentioned before, you first take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and say the refuge verses, and then you generate bodhicitta, generate good motivation, good intention. You say to yourself, today I am going to meditate on Mahamudra, and I like to meditate with good mind and good intention, and I will meditate on Mahamudra. I will meditate on Mahamudra for the benefit of all beings, for the benefit of all sentient beings. First you do that, generate bodhicitta. Then you practice samatha Mahamudra and resting your mind in the natural state. And your mind is observing your mind, what we call mind to mind, body to body. For example, when you do vipassana meditation in Thailand, the Achan will tell you mind to mind, body to body. What does this mean? Mind to mind, your mind is observer, and that what you're observing, your mind to mind. Okay, so you look at your mind and just simply observing mind. But as I said, as I wrote here, do not pull towards to you. You see your mind. Okay, I see my mind. I see very happy mind, and I feel very peaceful mind. Something very unusual, a little bit different than before, peaceful and happy. Then kind of get excited, like pulling. Oh, I want this mind. So good, feels so peaceful, so nice. I want this mind. Don't pull in. Do not grasp it. Okay, and just observe, just feel. Do not pull. And also do not push away. When you have mind, you see your mind is like a little bit tired, a little bit bored, a little bit agitated, a little bit restless, this and that. Do not push away. Don't say to yourself, oh, I don't like this mind. Trying to push away. No, I don't want you. Go away. Don't push away. Just observe that mind. Whatever is happening, observing. Concentrate. Focus your mind on that mind. This is samatha Mahamudra. And like chop the wood, carry water. When you carrying water, carry water. Chopping wood, chop the wood. Don't ask question, why am I chopping wood? What kind of wood I'm chopping? Is that birch, cedar, or fir? When you're carrying water, what kind of water I'm carrying? Is this clean water or polluted water? This and that. Just carry. So focus your mind on mind. Keep meditating. This is Mahamudra. And without pulling and without pushing and without discriminating and without making choices. When we do Mahamudra practice, we don't make a choice or we don't choose. It is called choiceless awareness. It's not that you don't have a choice, but you don't deliberately go and choose something and pick something. It's called choiceless awareness. You accept it, the condition, accept the way it is. Accept the way it is. It's a part of your mind. It's like life. It's part of life. Winter time is cold. It's part of life. Summertime is hot. It's part of life. You have 4 seasons, okay? And take it as it is. Some places have only 2 seasons. Some places have 4 seasons. Whatever you have, you take it as it is. If you take it as it is, it's not a big issue, big deal. You learn how to live with it, how to cope with it in seasons, right? The 4 seasons are very beautiful. The change, so beautiful. Now it's autumn here, fall. Look at the colors of the trees. Blue sky, fresh air, different than summer. It's hot, muggy, and smoky, this and that. Winter can be very cold, right? Again, when the winter comes, it has its own beauty. Cold but beautiful. Snow and ice. And children love playing with the snow. And even adults, I like snow myself. And everything has its own kind of beauty, right? So you don't make a choice, just accept it as it is. This is why we call choiceless awareness. And so Samatha Mahamudra is skillful method of how to accomplish calm, abiding mental state. So this time we are practicing Samatha Mahamudra. Samatha means calm, abiding mind. Whatever we are doing here, trying to cultivate calm, abiding mind, you can achieve calm, abiding mind. And I lived in big cities like Delhi, Bangkok, and Toronto, big cities, and lots of noise, lots of traffic. And I always I always know how to find calm, abiding mind, peacefulness. I've done retreats in a big city, like in Toronto, wintertime or summertime. I don't complain. That's the way it is. Now I'm here in the forest. I also find calm, abiding mind. Even in the forest, not always calm. You have insects and bugs and mosquitoes and woodpeckers knocking your door, windows, or neighbors cutting trees and running chainsaw. You always find some kind of excuse or some kind of complaint. People complain, right? People always find problems. If you're looking for problems, you find problems. If you ignore, that's part of life. If you choose, that's how it is. See, so samatha. When we practice samatha Mahamudra, you're always trying to find calm, abiding mind. How to find calmness, calm, abiding mind. If you find calmness, calm, abiding mind in India, in the cities like in Mumbai or Delhi, or in Beijing or Shanghai, and then there's no place, and you cannot find calm, abiding mind. So much noise and traffic. My guru, one of my church master, His Holiness Khakra Jetsun Dhamma Rinpoche, he was doing church in the middle of city called Siliguri in near Calcutta, between Calcutta and Darjeeling. I have an audio tape. He's singing, drumming. In the background, I hear all the traffic noise, so noisy, rickshaw drivers and buses and trucks. He was singing there, chanting. It didn't bother him. I thought, wow, why didn't he chant, drum some in the forest somewhere in India instead of in the middle of the city? Why? I think I know why he did that. Because he want practice church. Church means cutting ego, cutting attachment, cutting your cutting your kind of choice or no choice or whatever, those kind of mind like resistance, resentment, and cut everything, just ignore it, okay. And he accepted everything is like a church. You playing drum and blowing trumpet and same and the music, and I mean not music, the honks and traffic noise, everything is part of the church practice. You see in India, or behind the big trucks, they have a sign that says, "Horn, please, horn, please." Why? Because you have the horn in India. Otherwise, don't move, and you let the driver in front of you that you're coming. You horn, and they don't get mad when you horn, and they want you to be horned. Here in the West, if you horn, people get mad. They jump out. He might punch. He might punch you. And why are you doing this? And people get really mad when you horn. And in India, they are happy that you horn them, warning them, saying, "Okay, I'm coming. You go, or you stay there. Okay, let's move on." You go around and around, and I have not seen many accidents in Delhi. Same like in Ulaanbaatar in Mongolia. Traffic is like nightmare, and you can even honk the policeman. If police are blocking your road, you honk him, and why not? Because anyway, this is how it works. And anyway, my teacher did church practice, okay, and so he find a calm, abiding mind. He was doing Mahamudra as well. Okay, so I think I will leave it here at this time. We do a little bit of meditation on Mahamudra, and then I have a time for question and answer. So please sit comfortably, keep your back straight, and slightly close your eyes, close your mouth, and then resting your mind and resting your body, relax your body, and then resting your mind. Okay, the word is resting the mind in a natural way, a natural state, which means that you do not create any particular thoughts and ideas, do not expect anything, do not pull anything towards you, do not push away anything from you. Whatever thought comes to you, just observe. It could be a positive thought, could be a negative thought, whatever thought comes, and observe. When the thought came and gone, you realize the thought came and gone. And do not chase, do not follow that thought. And if there is no thought for a moment, and before another thought comes, and you have a little bit of space there, you have what I call the gap. You stay in this gap of the previous thought and the future thoughts between. Stay in this gap. And then suddenly thought came and gone, and you realize, oh, thought came and gone. Just know that, make a note, and according to Vipassana tradition, it's called make a mental note. Make that note that certain thought came. Okay, they come. Now let it go. And so just sit there, relax, and be here and now, resting your mind in a natural way, natural state. Means no deliberate activity, creating or composing something, writing in your mind. Just resting, simply resting your mind in a natural way. And your mind become like a mirror, clear and empty mirror. Mirror does not react. Mirror only reflects. When you look at the mirror does not react. Mirror reflects. We are the one who is reacting. Mirror does not react, only reflecting. Likewise, you now become the mirror, empty mirror, reflecting. Whatever is there in front of the mirror come and goes, or nothing comes, goes, just there's a wall over the other side. Whatever. You keep your mind like a mirror. Be a reflector and observer and resting in a natural state.
Thank you, Rinpoche. If anybody has any questions, please type them in the chat.
If you have any question about Guru Yoga or Mahamudra, you are most welcome. Yes.
Rinpoche, is it ever possible that traditional Guru Yoga could stifle creative spiritual thought and might cause a student to lose confidence in himself or herself?
Okay, so you read that word again?
Yes. Is it possible that practicing Guru Yoga in a traditional way,
Yes.
would it be possible that that could stifle?
What's that?
Stifle means suppress creative spiritual thought, and could it cause a student to lose confidence in himself?
Suppressing creative thoughts?
Creative spiritual thoughts.
Suppressing.
Suppressing, yeah.
That depends on the relationship between the teacher and the student. If you have a teacher who doesn't allow you questioning in yourself, by yourself, or in yourself, he does not allow you to ask questions to the good teacher, and he's sort of a very sort of rigid way. So it's sort of like a martial art, like yes sir, no sir, rule number one is, boss is always right, and kind of thing like this, don't allow you any questions. And then it's possible if you have a fear, okay, well, he won't ask me any questions, and I better not ask questions. If I ask questions, then I'm breaking the word of guru, or the protocol of the guru-disciple relationship is not inappropriate. And then it maybe goes on, and then at some point you feel it's quite disappointed, and you said, I think maybe I shouldn't be his student, I should leave. That's possible, yes. And but then it is also your responsibility. You should express to teachers that, look, I would like to ask you questions. And according Dharma said, it's good to ask questions. There's a limit how much you ask questions, but you can't just ask questions all the time, right? But certain point is important point. I like to ask questions. This is the point of having teacher-student relationship. Otherwise, there's no relationship, right? It's one way. The teacher said, you do this all the time, one way, right? So there is a risk, there is actually a danger. If the teacher is not a really skillful teacher, if he or she is not a compassionate teacher, then there is a danger for the students and danger for the teacher too, if it's too rigid, right? And so your request, it's your responsibility. Request, look, I would like to ask questions, and if it's not too much, and I like to make appointment or interview, whatever. And then your pressure or your frustration, not being able to have a dialogue with teacher, and then will be also, that could be solved, right? So the teacher has to be compassionate. This is one of the qualities of teacher I'm going to talk about next week. There's 10 qualities of teacher. One of them is compassion. Teacher must have compassion to students. If teacher doesn't have a compassion, that's a problem. Teacher should have compassion. Students should have respect to teacher, but teacher must have compassion. This is not only Dharma teacher, but any teacher, if any kind of teacher, school teacher or any teacher, from my point of view, teacher should have a compassion, right? Because your job responsibility to help the person, the student who is having a hard time, difficult time, and learning or confusion of life, whatever. You have to have some tolerance and patience and compassion. Let him or her grow and improve, and you have to have patience and compassion.
Thank you, Rinpoche. Junior Coconut Kiwi asks, Rinpoche, how can one formally become one of your students and ask you to be the guru?
So you are asking me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyone who would like to become my student, I usually ask first read the guideline, teacher-student guideline I wrote. It is available online. You should read that first. Then if that guideline is suitable for you, and then you can ask me, but then you also have to provide me your background, your stories. It's not like a resume you find trying to get a job. You have to tell me what your background, who you are, what kind of study you did, what kind of practice you have done, what you want to do. And because I need to know, I can't just say, yes, everything is wonderful, I'm perfect teacher, you're a perfect student, and la, la, la. And it's easy to say that, but then it's not easy because it's a big responsibility, And you see, like, I remember one student asked teacher, he said, I have a question and I want you to give me a perfect answer. The teacher said, well, it's fair then. You have to ask me perfect questions. And then I could try to give you a perfect answer. If your question is not perfect, how can I give a perfect answer? So it's kind of like that you have to provide all your background information, what you're doing, what your expectations, what you want. You want me to help you to become enlightened within 6 months or become Buddha, something kind of unrealistic expectation. I don't think I can do that, and unless you are a fortunate one. And so this is how we do. You go read first my text, the guideline, then you can let me know.
I just posted the link on the chat about the Rinpoche's guidelines. Thank you, Rinpoche.
Welcome.
Colin Maddox asks, Rinpoche, how do we as individuals discern Kalyana Mitra and Tsawei or Root Lama?
Say again?
How do we discern as individuals Kalyana Mitra and Tsawei or Root Lama?
Yeah, so you're talking about the distinction between the Dharma teacher and also what we call in Tibetan Tsawei Lama, root guru. Okay, so these are this question is kind of a little bit complicated some ways when you talk about root guru. Okay, so it need to be elaborated. Maybe Colin yourself, you yourself, I think you know what is root guru, what's the definition of root guru, this and that, right? So let me explain to you first. As I said before, I told you the stories about Atisha had many gurus, teachers. Marpa had many gurus. And so you could have more than one guru. You can have 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever you can have, right? So they're all your gurus. They're all your teachers, spiritual teacher, right? And whatever they're teaching you, the goal is same. The goal is you become a better person, better human being, healthy and happy human being, spiritually, advancing. That's the goal of all the teachers. That's what you want. They want you to become, and then you could become. And when you become enlightened, there's only one enlightenment. There's only one Buddha, even though there are many different Buddhas, but the essence is one Buddha. In Hindu tradition, they have saying there are many gods, and at the same time, there's one God. They're all one, just different gods. It's like there's one moon, many reflections of moon. You look around, there's millions of lakes, rivers, ponds. On the full moon, you see reflections everywhere. It's one moon, reflection of one moon. There's no two moons or three moons. Same one moon, like that. There's one God. And in Buddhism, we say one Buddha. There's no different Buddhas, right? So you can have many teachers, but Save Lama, the root teacher, is different. The root teacher is kind of like some people have very unique relationship, unique karmic connection with one teacher. And that teacher is called root guru. For example, my root guru is Japje Trijang Rinpoche. I have very, very unique connection with him. I know from my heart, and he knows. I follow his advice as much as possible, whatever I could. I'm not saying I'm a perfect student, and I'm not saying I followed everything what he told me, and I tried my best, and I did, and I do always, and I know that he's not disappointed with me, and he passed away 30 years ago. I still see him in my dreams, and he give me advice and teachings, and I know he's happy with me. So I have a unique kind of connection. So when you have one teacher who is very different, you have very unique kind of a connection. Okay, if you have one, that teacher can be called guru, root guru, Save Lama.
Wonderful. Thank you. That clears it up. Peter Morgan asks, is it a good idea for us to have gurus from different lineages? And also, do we see the guru as Vajradhara or as a physical person?
That's up to you, as you like. In India, we say, as you like.
Okay, thank you. Alex asks, Rinpoche mentioned the importance of a one-to-one relationship with the guru. How can we do this when he lives when we live in different country from the guru?
You can have a relationship through Zoom. You get Zoom guru relationship,
Yeah.
or WeChat, or WhatsApp, and internet. You can have a relationship. Why not?
Yeah.
And there is a famous Tibetan text called "Calling the Guru from Long Distance."
Mm-hmm.
No, serious. I'm not joking.
No, I know.
It is called Lama Jangbu. Lama is guru, right? Jangbu. Jang is far away. Bu is like calling the Lama. We have a text translated in English. So you call the Lama from long distance from your heart. So here we have click, click, click. Internet. Lama right there. Shows up in your living room. First thing in the morning, after breakfast, or before breakfast, or before dinner. Or you want to see your guru at 2 a.m, you open up your computer, click, your guru right there on Buddha Weekly. You can see your guru for 10 times, 12 times if you want. It's there on the Buddha Weekly. See, you can see guru. And so it's not so far away, right there. 4 feet away from you. Or right in front of you, you're holding the iPad right there. Hello, Guru. How are you doing?
Just like this.
Just like this.
Here we are.
See, technology is good.
Ask the guru a question right now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The social media, the technologies bring the world community closer and closer and closer. This is what Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, said recently at United Nations.
Thank
we
you.
live in a different age now, different time.
We do. Lu Dao asks, during Mahamudra and meditation in general, sometimes I get very disruptive thoughts or mental images that I feel very bad about, which makes them even more disruptive. Do you have any advice on this during meditation? what he can do.
Well, disruptive thoughts coming, and then you have to see when you say during Mahamudra meditation in general, sometimes I get very disruptive thoughts, right? So when you realize that disruptive thought came, but now is not there, it already came, it's gone, past, right? It's not there. See, usually when you do Mahamudra meditation, and what your observer mind, what you observed is already gone. You only notice after this first moment, and what do we call preceding mind. That disruptive thought is already gone. You have to know that. It's gone. If you want that disruptive thought, you can't have it. It's already gone. So what is the problem? Right? If this disruptive thought is there, jumping on your face, saying, you this, you that, I hate this, whatever is there, then you kind of, it doesn't work like that. It's not like that. It's already gone. Second, this is second moment or whatever you call, and preceding mind is noticing the disruptive thought is came and now gone, right? And we call it tail of the tiger. You see tiger, I see the tiger, I see the cougar. First I thought, what's that? What kind of animal is that? Bear or coyotes or what? That's the cougar. Because he's got a long tail. Now he's gone. I saw one here in our neighborhood. One night I was coming up to the temple, 9:00. I saw this animal walk across the road. I thought, what is this? Is that deer? No, deer doesn't have long tail. What is it? Oh my goodness, that's cougar. Moment I thought that, he's already gone into the forest. Then my thought is, maybe he'll turn around and come back. I better walk faster. But I was in the car, right? So I know I'm safe. He's not going to come back. If he did, I would. So you see, that disruptive thought is already gone. So what you need to do, you have to know that it's gone now. So you shouldn't keep thinking that, that thought came. I did not like that. I don't want that thought. And I wish that thought it won't come back. Then you are kind of dwelling again. Your mind is not resting in the natural state.
Right.
You let it just go. And it could happen second time, third time. It may not happen again. Mm-hmm. See, what happened is because you don't have the awareness. When you have that awareness and of disruptive thought, it won't happen. Even if you want that thought come back, it won't come back. Because you are aware. You have observer mind. You're watching. It's like a mouse, and he knows that you're watching. The mouse is very smart. He knows you're watching. He won't come back. As long as you're watching, he won't come back. If he come back, very fast. And but usually the mouse come back when you're not watching, and he's waiting the moment that when you're not watching.
Sneaks in.
Sneak in, sneak out. We do that too ourselves. Right? When you're a kid, do that. Teacher's coming. Oh, there's a teacher coming. I don't go there. Teacher's not there. Let's go in. Let's get out here. And sneak around, sneak in and out. People do that with the police. Okay. except the Mongolian guys honking at the police. Ooh.
Thank you. Tom asks, Rinpoche, you talked about having many gurus. How should a student think about seeking more teachers, and how is this handled between a student and guru in the Gelug tradition?
Say again?
Asking about having many gurus.
Yeah.
And then going about having many gurus.
Yeah.
And how does a guru and student work with this relationship when the student has more than one guru?
Well, you have more than one guru. The thing is, all these gurus are not the same guru, right? They're not like photocopies. They're not cloned gurus,
right?
And they don't look same. Mm-hmm. Their age is different. Their personality is different. Their teaching is different. They live in different places, and some of them are already gone, expired, and some of them around here they're old, and some of them the other side of the world, and some of them you can connect through Zoom. Some of them never connect with Zoom. They don't want to touch the computers, and I don't want those things. And so it's not that hard to relate with gurus because they're all different, right? If you want different teachers, right? And maybe you want different teachers because they're different, right? Different flavors, like ice cream, different flavors. And you see, so you have to relate according their personalities, their teachings. We have saying you dance according to the sound of the drum. Mm-hmm. That's how you relate. Mm-hmm. If you want different teachers, and one teacher is wrathful, you want that wrathful teacher, then you say, okay, I want you because you're wrathful and you are very direct. I need this. Hit me on my head, okay? And I need that, like a Zen master, hit on my shoulder. Okay, now, it says when the guru is scolding you, it is like a mantra. When guru is hitting on you, it's like he's putting the torma on your head. So this is good. I want you to be like Marpa, hitting Milarepa. If that's what you want, then that's what you get. And but gurus are not always interested in hitting on the poor students and scolding on the poor student. They're not interested. And you're maybe not worth it for gurus hitting you or scolding you. According to Zen tradition, they say, I'm so glad that you accept me and you think I'm worthy of you scolding me and hitting me. I'm so blessed. Because this means that I'm okay. Otherwise, why you bother? Why scolding me and hitting me? You got many students. Why would you waste your time scolding at me? Yeah, why bother, right? Mm-hmm. Why waste time and scolding at somebody or beating somebody? It could be bad karma too. But there's some good reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Okay, last question.
Okay. Junior Coconut Kiwi asks, Rinpoche, if I may ask another question, is it okay to have a relationship with a guru that I've never met or has died, or may have been reborn as another lama?
So is it okay to have a good relationship? Somebody you never met, someone's not reborn,
or somebody who's already dead,
right? And no, then there's no relationship. There's no relationship. He's never born. How can you have a relationship? And he's already dead long time ago. How can you relation? There's no relationship. It's just kind of like a dreaming or your wish, right? It's like saying, I would like to have a relationship with Nagarjuna. Mm-hmm. Okay, Nagarjuna passed away long time ago. Okay, and so you can't really have a real relationship. But if you say, I like to have Nagarjuna as my guru, I want to see Nagarjuna in my dreams, that's possible. Or you say, I like to receive some teachings from Nagarjuna. So if you're lucky, fortunate, if you already have some connection, you could see Nagarjuna in your dreams, and he might show up in your dreams. He might give you some teaching. That's possible. Anything is possible. Or, but someone who is not born here, and that's sort of, it doesn't make any sense, does it? Why do you want, saying, oh, well, I would like to have Yoda as my guru, E.T. is my guru, and it's kind of funny, random thought. Oh, I like to have Yoda as my guru. He's very old and good looking guru, and he kind of looks like a real guru, it's kind of weird. And I think like E.T. is very entertaining, and how about Yoda and E.T. both are my gurus? I want them my gurus. I like to pray to Yoda and E.T. Okay, and I take refuge to Yoda and E.T. and okay, E.T. E.T. Well, it's sort of what's point? What's point?
Good, thank you.
See, the thing is, your question is actually interesting to me, right? So why don't you want to have a guru-disciple relationship, guru who is live here, than somebody, guru that died long time ago? Or guru is not even born yet. Why? Right? Why? You're saying like, I like to see woolly mammoths, and I like to feed the woolly mammoth. Well, why don't you just go and feed the elephant, real elephant? Why woolly mammoth? Woolly mammoth died millions of years ago. Or you say, I like to feed animal that's not even evolved. Some animal, maybe 20,000 years from now, there will be another animal running around. I like to keep him as a pet. What's the point? Why not you adopt one nice dog, cute, nice little dog, Lhasa Apso or Shih Tzu or whatever, and Jack Russell or whatever, and French Bulldog. Why not just adopt now, saying, oh, I like to have some animal that they never been here on Earth at some point later on. Anyway, interesting questions. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. See you next week.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.